Oh, hello there. I'm here to talk to you folks about the rituals of the transientus cathanone, or more commonly known to today's culture as the North American Scooge bum. This Scooge bum is unique because the only reason for their vagrancy is directly the result of their insatiable lust for Scooge. Scooge, which of course, referring to designer drugs of the analog stimulant category, they are by nature extremely resourceful in finding, scheming, coercing, and general procurement of said Scooge. At almost any cost, especially when faced with the threat of eviction from their home and or family unit. They specialize and exceed in the field of Scooge, however dismal and oftentimes tragic that profession may be. The chemical has its advantages and disadvantages in relation to the performance of the species while under the influence. They become very alert, and it becomes quite an impossibility to catch them by surprise, or even share the same physical space with them without one knowing exactly how long and how far away you've been and are from them at all times. One downside is the distortion of the senses. Mainly auditory function, but it has been documented that visual and other hallucinations have occurred. The slightest pin drop or brush of one's arm sounds like thunder to a Scooge bum. White noise is an arch enemy of the species. The sound of running water has been known to bring about entire fantasies of events such as conversations and activities that the bums believe to be actual. Another disadvantage is that the prolonged use in increasingly large doses make it so that simple, mundane tasks are very realistically unachievable, such as keeping one's room tidy or doing a load of laundry. At this point, life becomes insurmountable. As you can see, the correlation of why these species is at its own mercy. I'll delve right into the rituals of the Scooge bum on an average daily basis. First off, the Scooge bum does not wake up, because the Scooge contains stabilizers that make any actual rest impossible. He may start rummaging through his belongings, or anyone's belongings that he's in the proximity of, looking for Scooge leads. And by Scooge leads, I mean any dim glimmer of hope that he might get some Scooge picked up. Any inclination or clue that could lead him closer to this mortal being. After a few hours of nothing, a frenzy starts to encompass the Scooge bum's brain. He'll start acting erratically and without any rational thought whatsoever. Anything he can take, steal, pawn, barter, exchange, parlay, or trade for Scooge will be considered with the utmost seriousness. After the frenzy hits its climax, it's time to make a decision. Which path is the most Scooge optimal? This stage is where the Scooge bums deviate the most from the rest of the Scooge-indulgent species of humankind. You see, a Scooge baron, or your average street Scooger, would assess his or her funds, contemplate ripping off somebody or something, or misappropriating some available funds, disregard those dangerous divisions as possible Scooge compromising acts, cope and find a more civilized route to obtain the Scooge, and prosper. The Scooge bum, on the other hand, feels no threat faced to his supply of Scooge because in their minds this is impossible. They have been known on a baffling number of occasions to, let's say, completely rob their loving blood relatives of everything sacred and valuable to obtain a hit of Scooge. Engaging in detrimental errors by life's standards for basic survival often causes paranoid fits of insanity in the North American Scooge bum. The Scooge amplifies every worst scenario possible, any given second, into what some would argue is the closest thing to physical reality that can be experienced by the human brain. One account of a mid-20s trans-cathanola stated that phantom police officers chased him for hours through a heavily wooded area along a tributary, all the while keeping a distance of 20-some-odd yards from him, guns drawn, but they never arrested him. He was surrendering to quite possibly the reverberations of his own heartbeat, manifesting itself into sirens and shouting. The true definition of terror. So at any given moment, a Scooge bum could be in a coma from incessant unrest, having a schizophrenic episode of the most frightening hallucinations, stealing your shit, or what I like to call just freaking. Just freaking is a period of time when a Scooge bum has procured his portion of Scooge and isn't afraid any more than usual of the world around him. This period is profoundly annoying. They don't listen to a word you say, but they commiserate as if they are in full understanding of what is being discussed. All they can muster to talk about is how much Scooge you have. If they can get some of said Scooge, ways to coerce you into getting more, or the occasional moment of focus when a Scooge bum can contribute to a theoretical funny video clip and make it completely suck. On the first and only take. There you have it, the description and habits of the North American Scooge bum. Oh yes, let's not forget the stink. If you haven't smelled one yet, odds are you will soon, and you'll know that in an instant that I am true in saying that the odor is indescribable, at least. Thank you for your time and interest in this research I've compiled to help that sophisticated Scooge enthusiast. Until next time, this is Professor of Anthropology and Social Oddities in the New World, Dr. Ambrose Pierce Stedman, Brosnen, Magnum Crime, Aurelius. Father to a stolen Scooge, husband to a legal dope, and I will have my vengeance, in this Scooge or the next.